Today we're going to be creating a pigeon inside of our ScratchJr app to use in a retelling of the story Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus, but you can put him in any story that you would prefer. So we have this great bus already inside of the ScratchJr library, but we can use the paint editor to add our own characters. So I'm going to tap the plus button, a blank character, and the paintbrush to get started. Instead of the word character, let's go ahead and rename him Pigeon. And I'm going to be using Mo Willems' instructions for his famous pigeon to get us started. But I'm going to have to kind of use the tools in ScratchJr, so I may tweak his design just a little bit so that we can make it work for ScratchJr. So I'm going to begin with a circle just like he would, and I'm going to use my circle shape tool. When I draw my circle, it looks pretty much like a perfect circle. So if you don't want it to be exactly shaped like that, you can tap the drag tool and select it once to kind of reposition it. So we're going to use that drag tool on and off to move things around, but also select it again to get those little dots that pop up. So next, his instruction is to draw a smaller O inside of it. So let's go back to our circle tool. We're going to draw another O for his eye and another one inside there for his pupil. So my drag tool now, I can use it to drag one thing at a time, or two, or all three. Next, I need to use my fill bucket to fill in the different colors of his face. So I'm going to tap the fill bucket and start with the black. Then I'm going to switch to white and fill in the white of his eye. And last, I'm going to switch to the blue. Let's do that color blue. Now, the drag tool, you can actually reposition the eye to express a lot of different emotions, right? So be thinking about where you want that to go, and you can always tap it and change your mind later. Next, I'm going to go switch back to black and select my freehand tool to draw the sideways letter M for his beak. Now I'm going to put the beak on this side over here because of the direction that characters move in ScratchJr. Our characters need to be facing right. And I'm going to use the fill bucket to give his beak a little bit of color. Now, if you want that to be moved, you can grab your drag tool and move it around. You can also play around with the layering if you want to do move the head and the beak at different times. So that's something to keep in mind. That drag tool is really handy for that. Usually Mo Willems will draw two straight lines for the neck, but that is not something we can fill in ScratchJr. So instead, we're going to try to draw the neck and the circ angle as one long thing. So we're going to actually go up and over, down, make our circ angle at the bottom, and back together. That will give us one shape. Now, you can still click on your drag tool to kind of sharpen things up if you need to. If you want to make his body up here a little bigger, rounder, you can make adjustments to your drawing. But what that's going to allow us to do is get our paint bucket out and fill his whole body with blue. We can get our drag tool out and kind of put his head back where it needs to go. Or if we want, we can move his eye, of course, and his eyeball around to give different emotions. But now let's go ahead and finish off our drawing. We're going to get our black free draw tool back out, draw 2 lines on the neck, 2 lines for the legs, and 3 V's, 2 on the feet and 1 for the wings, and that's going to finish off our pigeon drawing. So again, you can change up how that eye is looking to give it different expressions, and now you have a pigeon who's ready for action. Now, in your code, you're going to want to make him a little bit smaller probably. I drew him nice and big because it's easier to draw nice and big, but we can shrink him down with that shrink block. And now we can create a little bit of code for him. Maybe we want him to move left, jump up, and then say something like, "Please let me drive the bus." All right, and so when we hit go, we can start to see our story come to life using code.